And speaking of truth, something really sad happened. And I feel like every time we talk about these things, these tragedies when it comes to deaths, we don't really take into account that families are hurting. Okay? So what I'm referencing is the death of the teenage athlete out of Texas, Austin Metcalf. And his death has been the subject of controversy because he was a white kid. He was killed by a black kid. And that's why people have taken different sides. And we'll fledge out that whole controversy in a second. But here we go. Here's the article. So, student killed in stabbing in North Texas track meet identified. Police charge with another student with murder. So the student who died, who was identified as 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, he attended Frisco's Memorial High School. One student died and another was arrested on a murder charge after stabbing at a Frisco High School, Texas track meet Wednesday morning. Police and family members confirmed to WFAA. The stabbing happened around 10 a.m. at the University Interscholastic League's District 11-5A Championship track meet, which was being held at Frisco Independent School District's Kuykendall Stadium. The victim who died was 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. Family members told WFAA he was a student athlete at Frisco's Memorial High School. His twin brother, Hunter, described him as a peacemaker and was loved by all his friends. Megan Metcalf, Austin's mother, said she rushed to the hospital as soon as Hunter called her, excuse me. Quote, "My son is not here anywhere, and I don't understand it," she grieved. "He was the most amazing kid, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college." And this is him. Police said officers had responded around 10 a.m. to an altercation between two students. One of the students was stabbed by the other, according to police. Hunter Metcalf told WFAA he was there when Austin was stabbed and tried to save his life by stopping the blood. I tried to whip... I don't know what's happening here. Here we go. Quote, "I tried to rip around as fast as I could," Hunter said with tears in his eyes. "I looked at my brother, and I'm not going to talk about the rest. I tried to help him." Hunter said he held his brother until first responders attempted resuscitation. Frisco police said CPR was performed on the victim and his blood was administered, but Metcalf later died. Quote, "Austin did everything for our family," said Hunter. "As a linebacker, he was a stud. I always tried to fill those shoes and play with him. I had a blast my whole life playing sports with him." Although Austin was only 4 minutes than his brother Hunter, he said, "I always looked up to him. He was a big brother, even though they were the same age." Okay, so there's that. Now here's the controversy, because the suspect, the killer, happened to be black. So his name was Karmelo Anthony, with a K. Not to be confused with the basketball player, future Hall of Famer Karmelo Anthony. A 17-year-old student at Frisco Centennial High School was taken into custody on a murder charge. Anthony was transferred from Frisco City Jail to Collin County Jail on Thursday. His bond was set in $1 million jail records show. Anthony played football in the secondary for Centennial and indicated on social media pages he'd been offered scholarships to play for football colleges for similar smaller schools, excuse me. Okay, why is there controversy? This should have been a regular thing, right? It's a tragedy. It's very sad. But here's the problem right here, okay? We're getting back into it. We're talking about the quotes. In an arrest affidavit obtained by the WFAA, Anthony confessed to the incident, claiming he was protecting himself. Well, that's interesting. One witness reportedly told police Metcalf had told Anthony he would need to move out from under his team's tent, the affidavit stated. Okay, so he was sitting in the wrong seat. Okay. Upon telling him this, the witness told police that Anthony opened his bag and reached inside. Quote, "Touch me and see what happens," Anthony told Metcalf, according to a witness. So now you're understanding why this is such a controversial thing. Metcalf reportedly then touched Anthony, and witnesses told a responding officer, and Anthony told Metcalf to punch him and see what would happen. Soon afterward, the witness said Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, at which point the affidavit continues, Anthony reportedly pulled up what the witness recalled as a black knife and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest before running away. According to the affidavit, the knife allegedly stabbed Metcalf was later found within the bleachers at the track. Anthony had reportedly thrown it in there following the stabbing. Okay, so this is why people are so upset. And here's what's really infuriating. So we have a couple videos to look at here. This has really divided the internet and divided the country. It's become a very controversial thing. And so a lot of people in the black community, not even the black community, but a lot of people on the left, we'll say, have taken the side of Karmelo Anthony. Why? Because they view it as a toxic, racist thing. And they are saying that Karmelo Anthony was innocent, despite what I just read to you in the affidavit. So here's a woman who said Austin Metcalf got what he deserved, said that Rosa Parks' days are over. Listen to this woman.
Y'all not gonna make me believe or feel any kind of sympathy for Austin Metcalf at all.
What? The kid, this poor kid, the 17-year-old kid, was stabbed in the chest and killed. You don't feel any sympathy for him?
He put his hands on that young man when he should have kept them hands to himself. When the young man told him, touch me and see, you bet not touch me, that meant that I don't want you in my space. I don't want you touching me. Rosa Parks' days is over.
So here's the deal. Rosa Parks was not a murderer. Who the hell brings a knife to a track meet? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. Why would you bring a weapon to a track meet? If this is true, you were just in the wrong seat. You weren't in the right tent. It wasn't your school. Whatever. This is a completely normal interaction between two teenagers, right? Whatever it is, what it is. Why are you bringing a knife to a track meet? Are these people even looking at that at all? Okay, so here's why I'm really pissed off. All right, because there's a lot of people like this lady who said Austin Metcalf got what he deserved. They view it as racial violence, okay? And here's the problem. So there was a GoFundMe that Karmelo Anthony, who was the killer, Karmelo Anthony's family started GoFundMe. And people have raised, this family has raised, even though this guy killed a 17-year-old kid, the family of Karmelo Anthony, the killer, has raised over $163,000 for a GoFundMe for his legal defense, which he literally murdered a white kid, and he's being rewarded with hundreds of thousands of dollars, it would seem. They're probably going to hit the $200,000 goal. It is just so crazy how people on the internet, look at this, people on the internet are rallying behind a murderer. And they're trying to make it a black thing. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it is, but we should not celebrate this stuff. Why are we celebrating more violence, right? I thought we got over this with the George Floyd thing. Yes, what happened to George Floyd was tragic, and it shouldn't have happened. Did Derek Chauvin act racially? Maybe. I don't know, but it's not, and they're talking about releasing him. This shouldn't happen. Like, we should have got over that as a country. But this is not... Also, too, we live in an age where everybody has everything on camera. Why weren't the recordings released? There had to have been something. Somebody must have had a phone. This is not good. Not a good precedent to set. Not something that's very good for racial relations either in this country. We should not be glorifying murderers. It's not something that we should do. It's not something that we have done in the past. No, O.J. Simpson, okay, maybe not. But this is not a good precedent to set, folks, because you are only going to accelerate racial tensions in this country. People in the comments, say what you will, but you have to somewhat respect their blind racial loyalty. Perhaps it's time we do the same. I don't think we do that. Right? That's a white person in the comments. I don't know if we go there. That's not good. All I'm saying is that something has to change. And people are talking about black culture being the source of all this, right? Matt Walsh on Twitter talking about black culture. Jason Whitlock talking about black culture. It's been the subject of a lot. I'm not even going to go there. But the way I want to end this is like, we should not glorify murderers. I said this with the killing of CEO Brian Thompson with Luigi Mangione. I do not think that we as a society should celebrate murderers. I don't care if the kid was a piece of shit. It certainly didn't indicate that he was a piece of shit from the article I read, not what the affidavit said. This kid, Karmelo Anthony, he was sitting in the wrong seat. It wasn't his team. It wasn't his high school. He was sitting in the wrong tent. So the white young kid, he asked him to move. and he didn't move, so you stab him? Who brings a knife to a track meet? Who brings a knife to a sporting event where you're supposed to be competing? I don't get it. I don't know why people aren't talking about that either. It's so frustrating, man. I hate seeing kids die. I hate seeing people die unnecessarily. It's just really, really sad. It is really, really sad. I don't know. I personally think this is going to accelerate racial tension again, which like we were doing so good as a country from like kind of calming down. Yes, it's always been in the air, but this is going to accelerate it again, and I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. I don't know, man.